Hi guys, and here we are. Okay, so we're looking at this box today. It's a box from GW and it's the Chimera, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing around. Now it's a lovely piece of cover art there. I'm trying something different for a change. I'm going to be videoing it and then doing a voiceover over the top of it as we go along, so it should be quite fun. The sprues are fantastic actually. Now they've limited it down into two separate sprues. Are quite cool. Now you only need a few pieces to get started. I'm going to go ahead and build this. Well, actually, I've already built it, but it's much more professional if I just show you stuff. There we go. Okay, so here we are. We're going to be putting stowage, and I've got a vast amount of stowage, which I'm going to be planting on top of that vehicle. I like the Chimera. Like I said, it always reminds me of a Russian vehicle. Now, stowage, these little bits and pieces I picked up on eBay. They're Tamiya pieces. Really nice. Easy to use. I'm going to be using some super glue to pin them down. I don't really use plastic glue for gluing resin to other bits of resin or plastic because it just doesn't work. I always find super glue is a lot easier to use and a lot more fun. That's it really. So once it's all stuck down like so, what we need to do now is think about how we're going to cover it, and for this we're going to be using Greenstuff, a plastic tube as a rolling pin, and we're going to make some tarpaulin to go over the stuff over the top of it. It's a nice easy process, as you'll see. Now I've got this thing, an OCD thing that I do with my Greenstuff strips, is that I fold it into each other, so yellow into the blue, blue into the yellow, and then likewise I do it again until I'm ready and it's all done. Now make sure you put plenty of water when using Greenstuff. It really does help some stopping things sticking together. Now what you're looking to do is just roll this out as thin as possible and make it a lot easier to apply, because we want like a sheet basically to apply over the top of it. As you can see, I've done it there. And now look at it, he's got a knife. No, I'm joking. He's got a knife. He's now going to cut it. That's what I'm doing there. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it into a nice sort of square shape. And look at that water all over the place. It really does help, trust me. Always keep Greenstuff wet when you're using it, because it just stops it from sticking everywhere. Make sure you use a sharp blade as well. That blade wasn't too sharp, although it's cut many a finger. So once that's done, we're looking to get a nice square kind of shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does help if you can get it to a shape that you're happy with. Now you may have some bits and pieces left over. You can always put them to one side. Now this is a really quick way of applying it to a vehicle. Just rest it over the top, and because it's quite heavy, it will start to sink over the top of the piece that you're using. Now I use a paintbrush just to flatten it down and make it a lot easier to use. You guys can do the same. Just mould it into place. It's the easiest thing to do. Now you're going to go, well, why did you put all that stowage on there? You could use anything, any shape basically underneath it. I've just got loads of stowage laying around, and it was easier to show you guys with the stowage there. So I'm just going to continue pressing that down, making sure I've got plenty of water, because I don't want the brush to stick to it, and I don't want any sort of bristles all over it as well. Now I do manage to stick my thumb to it at one point, but that's just sod's law. Okay, so this is what we're going for, because remember, the stowage will sink down, the tarpaulin will sink down the tarpaulin will sink over the top of it after a while, and you can create some lovely little folds and stuff like that. This is just a quick process, because once it's painted and weathered, it'll look gorgeous. Now I always find that I leave a little bit open so you can see what's underneath the tarpaulin, so you know there's a few bits and pieces there. Adding damage to it is really good, so rips in the tarpaulin by just dragging the blade down and feathering it slightly. That always helps. Now you'll notice that I've attached handles. Now you need these. I've got one there, and the same on the other side. We're going to be threading our string as a tie down, basically like a giant bungee. Now what I've done is I've taken a few threads, I've glued the tips together, and I've just twisted it in my hand. You just thread it through there like so. It's a nice easy process. Now this did take me a while. It doesn't help having hands the size of bananas, or fingers the size of bananas I should say, and then you just tie it off at the bottom. Now I did have some fantastic plastic cabling. but it's gone missing. So I'm using string for this, and you can use string for it as well. It's not a hassle whatsoever. Just make sure that once the knot's done that you just put a bit of glue on there to stop it from coming undone. And it's literally folded over the edge like so. Thread it through into the other side, and then you just do the same again, and it just gives you the idea of it holding down. Now I'm going to add a few more pieces to it, a few more pieces of string. I just need it to dry for a little bit, and I just go around it and wet it down a bit, add some more detail into it, and it's a really simple process, and it doesn't take you too long at all, and it's a really nice little bit of detail you can add just to make your vehicles a little bit different. So I hope you enjoyed that. You guys, go ahead and try it out yourself. I always have fun making my vehicles look different, and yeah, there you go. So you be good, be safe, and I'll see you soon.